It's your boy from the East. Teller doing the most. You already know what's up, y'all. I got a guest today. Yeah, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, you know. Yeah, over to you, my man.
Thanks, my G's. Thanks, my G. How's it, everyone? It's Englibeth in the building. Shout out to my G. For letting me come on set. And hopefully we can share a whole lot of things. So yeah,
Alright, so, where you from? And what do you do? Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, man. So obviously, like I said, my name is Englibeth. You
yeah,
know, I was born in Zim in Harare. And I kicked it there, for about 8 years. Then my parents moved to Limpopo, and then I was in Limpopo and been kicking it since there. I think about 10 years ago, also moved to Joburg myself. As I was coming for tertiary school and stuff like that, and tertiary education.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just if where I'm from, in a summary or something.
And what do you do? What are you known for?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. At the moment, obviously, music. We have a single that's out. Which features MT. Where so we're quite excited. To share that piece of art. With everyone. Yeah. So pretty much it's music and music videos and social media. Just to share my daily life, with the people. That's what's up.
So, when when did you like start with like music?
With music. Now I've always been a music boy, like honestly, I've always been that kid, who has a kid in music instruments in the house. Um, Little by little you can have like studio equipment. You probably need a laptop, FL Studio, a keyboard or a MIDI keyboard, and then I'll just be making noise, in my room. I remember my parents used to say like, my room must be very far from everyone because then when I'm doing my thing, I don't have to disturb anyone, So I've always been a music person, and yeah, I like all the kind of music, man. I like all top music. I just like everything about music.
Alright, alright, cool. So, what's like made you like have an interest in music?
Ish, man, I think this one is a God thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to obey certain things that are coming from within, right? Because otherwise, there's no peace in the world or in your world if you don't obey what you feel is coming from inside. So that's how I look at it. I could be doing a lot of things with my life, man. I probably could be going on vacations, probably raising a family or something like that, but I'm just giving music a priority at the moment, because it's something that I feel like, hey man, I gotta do this, and there's a lot of changes I can bring. There's a lot of things I don't like in the current setup. There's a lot of things that I would like to see improve, etc., etc. But here I am, dog.
Wow,
Mm.
cool. And like, so there's this question that I've been asking artists, on the podcast, and I'd love to hear your point of view.
Yes, yes.
So, would you sign a deal, or would you like prefer the independent route?
Um, Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. On the things that you're able to handle yourself, you can handle them independently. On the things that you can partner, with structures that are already available. You could ride on that as well. I think the question is directed towards, maybe the exploitation that we have seen in recent years, where artists come on later on and say like, hey man, my deal was not wrong, was not right, etc., etc. So I just would say that it's a bit of both, and there's good reasons for it, because why must you ask somebody to do something that you can do yourself? Most artists, I mean, they already have a team, who can handle certain things and stuff like that. You see, but with your team, you are limited. You can only do so much where you are limited. You see, there's labels as well which already have. For example, if you are operating in South Africa, you see, how do you operate in America, in Europe, in Asia and stuff like that? You see, when you are physically this side, we've already seen that, the moment an artist focuses on overseas, the local market suffers, or focuses on the local market, probably no presence overseas. You see, so that's why I say like, you can always do a bit of both. The things you can do and your team can do, you can't outsource those things to a label. I think recently we've seen artists who have a certain level of distribution agreement, with another company, but they still have a team, they still have independence of some sort. You see, even some of the biggest artists in South Africa, the likes of AKA, Casper Novice, it appears to me, that the things they can handle, they do themselves. These things that they can need a distribution company, they do it, they reach out to a distribution company, because there's pros and cons to do that. I mean, some of these big labels have resources, they have people, they have connections that were brewed for over 100 years. You're not gonna do all of that in your lifetime, never. Where you can come to some sort of agreement, as long as you understand, what is your value, and So for me, it's a bit of both. Yes.
That's an amazing answer. Yeah, because like, hey, nowadays record labels are
Nah, I think it's because there is no understanding, and like, if you look at the team that left Ambitious Records, man, I feel like most of those people, they were better off with Ambitious. Like, why would they leave? Like, I understand probably there could be something that's happening behind the scenes or whatever, but 5 years later or 6, or you actually realize you're better off. Whatever issues there were, you could have sorted them. You try to find ways to sort them, as opposed to just saying I'm leaving and then hurt your career in the process. So there's good reasons why you need a label, and they would, but then you just need to make sure that you probably have the understanding of the contracts and what type of agreement and what everything is, because I mean, it's an expensive business. When you see artists now, they're not able to put food on the table, because when they left it Ambitious, they were big, or left it the label, they were big, etc., etc. They wouldn't understand the music business aspect of it, and trying to learn all of that. It's like you're starting from grade 1, man. So I just think that it's a complicated, it's not an easy cut conversation. Yes, it's not an easy cut conversation. Yeah. So it's like if you play soccer and you play football, you're gonna have to start your own Mamelodi Sundowns. It doesn't make sense. Yes, you have to. You can play for the teams that are available, and just make sure that your deal, probably you can negotiate your deal on a regular basis, or whatever it is, depending on how your career is going. Yeah.
That's true. And also doing your research also helps, because you can't just get into a deal and you don't know about it.
Man, like, people, what I realize about artists, what they know. Artists know smoking too much, drinking a whole lot of things, and spitting stuff in the studio, and they put a whole lot of auto tune and stuff like that, you see, and not care about the music business, understanding, what's happening in contracts, because for you to understand the contracts, I mean, like, you almost like need some form of, you need to be a lawyer to a degree, not that you need to be a certified lawyer, but the mindset, the mindset.
That's true.
Yes, you can't be like a regular Joe and just smoking and drinking the whole day and you think like you understand contracts. I mean like just do a bit of a research, deep dive, man. Yeah.
That's true. And how has your journey been like within music?
Man, the journey is amazing. That's just the truth. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning. You know. Um, if you look at what Amapiano did in recent years, um, where they almost like went on the streets, because they're saying like they can't get to the industry, the industry is not accepting them. Then there was a huge movement on the streets, and the industry came and said like, hey man, this is the thing. I for one don't think that Amapiano is probably the best genre that we have that we are exporting. I think we have a lot of other better music that we've done in the past and whatever. You see, but surprisingly, Amapiano is doing well. Both locally and internationally. You know, based on the principles that man. Like if you connect to the people directly, you know. Um, they're gonna love you for they're gonna love you, yes, you see, but even though I think like man, like there's a lot of nice music that was done in South Africa in the past, which was just surprising why it didn't actually go global. Maybe the intention was not the same at that point. Yeah.
Okay. So, what would you label yourself as like as a musician? Like a rapper?
Yes. So I'm actually a musician. That's the correct thing, because I can jump into the studio. I can have a studio session. I can operate everything that you can operate in the studio, etc., etc. I play a couple of instruments. Depending on whatever idea I have in terms of music. Most of the music that you see, it's especially for my side. Sometimes it's just try and error. Then it sounds nice. Okay, let's make it a song. You know, so it's not like I'm having people tell me songs and then I have to, or ghostwriters or something like that. I just wanna properly identify myself, find myself from a music perspective, share myself. If I could collaborate with people later on, that's fine. But at least I'll be comfortable that this is my space and this is where I command. So I can rap. I can sing. I can um, better rap. I can produce. I can also do the other posts. Like mixing, mastering, same thing even in videos, etc. Because we do all of that in house anyway. So musician is the correct term, because it encompasses everything. Yeah.
Okay. So, what advice would you give like the upcoming artists who also like who also have dreams, to make it in the music
In the
industry?
music industry,
Yeah,
I would just say like, man, stop it. Just find a job, dog. Because this thing is very complicated. It needs a lot of money. You know, uh, 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 you know. I would like to look at the stats in terms of like how many percentage of artists actually make it. Because a lot of people end up frustrated. Mental health issues. Drug abuse. Because of how hard it is and stuff like that. Not that I'm saying that everything else in the world is not hard, you see, but just because you're excited, you know, doesn't make you like a superstar. Actually, excitement it actually hinders you from becoming a superstar, because everything needs to make sense. When you're excited, you don't calculate everything. That's how you end up just signing a deal just because somebody says, what, we're signing you. So
that's true.
the advice is to say like, man, just quit, look for a job, get a skill, and leave music alone. Leave music to a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all heard, y'all heard. Yeah, and where can they get you on like socials?
Or on socials, like I said, my name is Englibeth. It's a very unique name. And it's Englibeth everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. It's all Englibeth. So that's where they can actually interact with me. I interact with people all the time. I'm not like one person that somebody's is responding for comments on my behalf and stuff like that. You see, I prefer to actually do that, myself, and get to meet. Sometimes I can actually link up with somebody. They hit my DM. Next thing I'm taking a drive to their place and stuff like that, and getting to connect and stuff like that. So I'm all out there, man, just trying to have fun and just make sure that every second counts, because it's either you get rich or you die trying.
Yeah, that's true. I'll leave the links of his socials on the description below. Yeah, let's get to it. So who would you like to? Okay, you. What can I say? Who would you like to feature, like your favorite artists?
In South Africa.
Yeah.
Ish, I think Ish, man. Like, this is maybe in the show I can just break it down in the short term and long term, because ultimately I want to work with everyone, at some point, right? We've done work with MT, right? Man, it's about talent, man. Like, it just depends, because some of these kids, it's either you do it because they're good at this, or they're good in marketing and stuff like that, or you want a great song. So it just depends. I for one at the moment like Blackie's vocals. So I probably at some point will hit his team, say like if we're gonna do some business there. Um, any of these big heads, man. Any of these big heads. You see, I'm not gonna say I wanna work with AKA what did Skomoto say? He says he wants to work with. Yes, you see, yeah. He said you wanna work with Zahara and AKA. I can't remember, but you know, um, I like old music. So I would say like perhaps there's the short term and there's the long term. The long term is to work with everyone. The short term is probably the likes of Blackie. If it's nice to see, man. Like, I'm out here, doing my thing. That's bottom line.
We have reached the end of the podcast. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Yes,
Thank
man.
you for
Just a shout out to you, bruh. For hosting us here. And I know, obviously, I want my people also to follow you, etc., etc. Because um, it's. I mean, like I like the movement that you're doing, etc., etc. So you need to follow the boy.
for the boy.
That's
for
what's
the
up.
boy.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you all for being here, for watching us. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. I already know.
That's what's up.
Times, but eventually pass the test. Some of these niggas need some.